me a sucker soup on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day. Kids got their quizzes and I've got a date. I can't meet the deadline, I'm already late.
But right now, right next to me, and I don't believe he's going to disappear, is Chris Hunter. Hi, Chris, from the Schenectady Museum, and Nathaniel Hancock from National Grid. First of all, you may have seen Chris's picture in the paper. He's involved at the museum, and recently they've uncovered they knew they had that, but they uncovered maybe Greg can show a picture of that, it's a foil recording of Edison, is that correct?
Well, it's a tinfoil recording that was made on one of Edison's early phonographs in June 1878 down in St. Louis, Missouri. It was something that had been donated to the museum in 1978, but if you used the original phonograph to play it, it would have destroyed the recording in only one or two plays. So we chose not to do that, and now modern technology has caught up with the old technology, and there's a group over at the University of Southampton in England that's developed a scanning system where they recreate digitally the surface of the tinfoil, and then they have some software that turns that digital picture back into sound.
Incredible. Well, we can't wait to hear how that all turns out. But you're really here to talk about power and refueling and energy, and you brought with you a gentleman from National Grid who is an account executive, and he is also involved in a grant that you received. Is that correct?
Yes. So we had a great relationship with the National Grid over the years, and including they were one of the main sponsors of our wind and solar exhibit in 2009 and a National Grid photo exhibit also in 2009. And this year we're doing an upgrade to our Fueling the Future exhibit about alternative energy and alternative transportation, and upgrading our section about the fuel cell to talk about all the great developments, kind of past, present, and future that have happened with the fuel cell in our region.
And the fuel cell, stores energy? Is that correct?
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Yep. A fuel cell is kind of a stationary method of generating electricity.
Oh, it generates it?
Yes.
Okay. Nathaniel?
Yes.
National Grid?
Yes.
Are they working on all kinds of energy? We're talking about wind? Are we talking about water? How are you getting all this energy?
Well, first of all, about the exhibit, National Grid is very pleased to be a supporter of the exhibit. We were a supporter of the original Fueling the Future exhibit. We provided a $5,000 grant for the original exhibit, and then another $8,000 for upgrading the current exhibit. And we're excited to be a supporter of this exhibit that focuses on alternative energies, fuel cells in particular. And yes, National Grid is involved in supporting the development of alternative forms of energy, such as fuel cells, wind, solar, and all of that kind of thing. National Grid really isn't as much in the generation business anymore as we once used to be.
Transport?
But yeah, we're really in the delivery and the delivery of energy, both gas and electric. But we are supporting the development of alternative forms of energy, such as fuel cells, and that's one of the reasons why we're supported the exhibit at the Schenectady Museum.
And what would we see at the exhibit? I don't know which one of you wants to answer, or perhaps both of you. Or
Okay. At the exhibit, the centerpiece, and if I can hold this
I'll
up.
hold it up.
Okay.
Maybe Dick can catch it. That's okay. I'll hold it up here.
Yep. The centerpiece is going to be a Genesis Blue system that was developed by Plug Power. And right now, Plug Power, National Grid, the museum, and the Ballston Spa Central School District are all in a partnership with Union College to test and promote one of these Genesis fuel cell systems.
I love the name, Genesis.
that can generate up to 5 kilowatts of of electricity, enough to power a small business or a small house. So Union College's Butte House, one of their themed dorm houses, is running a pilot project using the fuel cell right now. So within the exhibit, we're going to be talking about that, some of the benefits and challenges of fuel cells, kind of the history of fuel cells in the region, going back to a couple GE scientists in the 1950s that developed a fuel cell that flew in the Gemini space missions, and then kind of linking that up with today, and then including some interactives.
Well, I mean, I hear you just mentioned the space program. I mean, I hadn't thought, but you've got to have energy up there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And did they get theirs? How did they get their energy? Maybe Nathaniel?
Well, from fuel cells. I mean, that's one of the sources.
And
of
is
energy.
that from solar? Or it can't be because the sun isn't hitting it, is it? Or
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to. This is not my my expertise, so I'm really working here.
what a fuel cell does is it, for instance, if you take water.
Okay.
Water is
hydroelectric. Yeah.
Not even hydroelectric, but the H2O in water.
Oh, okay.
If you separate the H2 and the O,
right,
the hydrogen passes as it passes through a membrane. The hydrogen proton and the electron get separated from each other,
which creates energy.
Yeah, and only the proton can pass through the membrane, whereas the electron kind of passes through wire and creates a flow of electrons, or generating electricity, and then they link back up on the other side and then link back up with the oxygen atom to create water again. And that was one of the great things using a fuel cell in space.
Because it's cheap.
Well,
I mean, the water's cheap.
But you're not only generating
fuel cell probably isn't.
You're not only generating electricity, but you're also creating water.
Yeah.
So it also gave the astronauts drinking water.
Oh, I'll be darned.
So one of the pieces that we're
go back and take physics again.
Yep. So one of the pieces that we're going to have, it's going to look a little bit like a coin sorter, but it's actually it's going to show that process.
Great.
You pull down a lever, it kind of unleashes little balls representing all these different molecule parts, and it'll actually show the process, show them separating, generating the electricity, and then linking back up together.
Now, when is this exhibit going to be up and running?
So we're going, because we have the big April school break week at the museum, we're going to have most of the elements up and running for April break, and then we'll be adding some videos and some other elements through the month of May.
Great. So we want to encourage people to bring their kids
Absolutely.
to the library, to the museum.
Right.
And to let them take a look at this and maybe get that, what is it, the STEM program where it's science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
You know, it kind of gets the kids thinking in those terms.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we have such interest in this exhibit and helping the museum to try to maybe get young people interested and motivated in sciences and engineering, because as you know, we're sort of lack of enough
we're falling behind
engineering interest with young people, and this program hopefully will capture their attention, capture their interest, and hopefully get involved in some of the emerging energy technologies.
Right. Which, of course, you're looking for good candidates.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great.
We're always looking for good candidates for that. So, and the Union College students will be involved in helping with this upgrade of the current exhibit, and they have already been involved with the fuel cell installation in the Butte House on campus. We've involved the Boston Spa High School students. And so we really like the fact that we're partnering with educational institutions. We're partnering with Plug Power, which is one of our local developers of emerging technology. The U.S. DOE is also involved with this, and the museum, of course, and ourselves.
Well, get your kids down to check out that exhibition, and I want to compliment National Grid for donating or giving a grant to the museum. I think the museum is doing a wonderful job in the technology area to bring technology to right down to the grassroots level and having kids get involved with it. And we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
So check it out, and you can check it during spring break. So do that. And they have a big fundraiser coming up, and we'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks. So we've been speaking with Nathaniel Hancock and from National Grid and Chris Hunter.
See a sucker suit on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.